today, I will not be surprised if you see the governor of Nairobi at the flag of the World Rally Championship at KICC, because I am sure that is where he's going to be. He prioritizes Sherehe over this parliamentary business.
So my point is, we fine 500,000 and then we issue other summons. When he fails, we will fine again and then cause for him to be arrested. It says that whereas a witness is invited or summoned to appear and fail to do so, there are serious consequences on that. This is nothing but contempt of this committee. Last week there was an excuse that Governor Sakaja stated that he had not received the information on time and he needed to go to a burial. Now, I don't know, before I proceed further, how were the summons delivered to his office? Because Sakaja will state that he has not received those summons. So maybe before we proceed any further, can the Secretariat tell us and give us copies of the summon and explain to this committee how they deliver the summons to the witness? I want to remind, okay, but proceed first.
So before I invite the Secretariat, is there another member who wants to say something so that the Secretariat can then respond at once?
Chair, I think it is important for the question that has been raised by Olekina to be sorted out first, because this is the habit of the governor is to say he did not see those summons. I know who Patrick Akivaga is. I think he's the acting county secretary, and let's clear that question from Olekina first.
Yes, our legal counsel, can you now take over from there?
Through the chair, the summons were processed through the clerk, and the summons were delivered by our legal clerk, and the affidavit of service is there to show that they were actually delivered to his office.
Then, because it appears that there is a certificate of service, I think for us is to revert back to our Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act and also Article 125 of the Constitution. And this time around, Mr. Chairman, for this committee to be taken seriously, we have to follow those two sections of legislations to the letter. We even have the power to call for a witness to be arrested. So I think it's about time that we exercise our powers, because this committee must be respected. I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other member? Yes, Abbas.
I think, as rightly said by the Olekina, I think this will be the fourth time the governor has failed to respond or come. So I think we need to follow appropriate measures to be taken against the governor, as will be agreed by all members.
No.
Yeah, Chair, it is actually more than the fourth time. I believe we started this inquiry over a month ago. Mr. Chair, the CS for Energy has appeared before this committee. The Director for EPRA has appeared before this committee. NEMA has appeared before this committee. For us to be able to close this inquiry, the only missing link is the county government of Nairobi. So I would have no other recourse than to proceed in the manner in which the law provides. You find the governor of Nairobi in accordance with the Parliamentary Privileges and Powers Act.
Members, I want to draw your attention to the contents of the summons. If you open in your file, you'll find it in these summons, or to produce the documentation required by the committee. Then, one, the committee may impose upon you a fine not exceeding 500,000 shillings, or may order for your arrest pursuant to Section 19(1) and (3), respectively, of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act of 2017. And the two, you may also be guilty of an offense in terms of section 27/1/A/Roman 1 and C/Roman 2, respectively, of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act 2017, for which you shall be liable on conviction to a fine not exceeding 200,000 shillings or to an imprisonment for a term not exceeding 6 months, or to both such a fine and imprisonment. So that caution contains the various possibilities that on the governor. Legal counsel.
Through the chair, as per my inquiry, I was advised that we've always issued, when the governor is not there, we've always given the acting county secretary or the county secretary to receive the summons on behalf of the governor.
So you're confirming that he was served?
Yes.
Good.
Just read the section relating to summons, whether there is a requirement for personal service.
Sorry?
Read the section
Yes.
relating to summons, just to confirm whether there is a requirement for personal service.
Okay. That is section 19(1), procedure if the witness fails to appear. Where a witness summoned does not appear or appears but fails to satisfy the relevant House of Parliament or committee, the relevant House or committee may impose upon the witness such fine not exceeding 500,000 shillings, having regard to witness condition in life and all the circumstances of the case.
So there is no provision on service?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Chair, where there is no legal requirement, is there
There
okay.
is section 18(4). The summons shall be served by a member of staff or police officer who is duly authorized by the clerk, by delivering a copy of the summons to the person mentioned in the summons or at the person's usual or last known place of residence, employment or business, or left to the person who is over the age of 18 years and who resides or is employed at that place.
Then that is clear, Chair. Yeah.
Then in that case...
Perfect. So members, the governor was properly served. So next step is, what do we do? Olekina?
I think the first thing we do is to fine the governor the maximum of 500,000, which he has to pay through his pocket or through his own personal account. I know it might be cheap for governors who are now buying houses in Dubai, of course using public funds, but we need to fine and summon. And then, if he doesn't appear the second time, fine, and then also now try to use this, maybe the police, to compel the witness to appear here. And I think we can be able to do that. So we have to do the extreme, because it's ridiculous. This guy has got no mercy. He has got no sympathy for the people who were affected. And he is allegedly the governor of Nairobi, who should actually care for everyone who is affected by this issue. So my point is, we fine 500,000, and then we issue other summons. When he fails, we will fine again, and then cause for him to be arrested.
Chair, there's a point that we made at the last meeting, that it is actually a legal requirement that parliamentary business must be prioritized. The last time the governor was telling us, and he delivered a letter here at 8 a.m., just a few minutes before the meeting started, telling us that he was going for a burial. And we actually confirmed between myself and the Member of Parliament for Embakasi East that we were going for that same burial. But we came to the committee first, executed our business at Parliament, and joined the governor at that same funeral, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair. Today, I will not be surprised if you see the governor of Nairobi at the flag of the World Rally Championship at KICC, because I am sure that is where he's going to be. He prioritizes Sherehe over this parliamentary business. That flag off is scheduled for 11 a.m. There was nothing to stop him from appearing here. I'm just speculating because I am sure I will see him there. There's nothing to stop him. I'm sure even the president who's going to do the flagging off is doing something before 11, you know. So parliamentary business for this governor has always taken a second, seat, a back seat. For him, it is not a priority. This is why I'm in agreement with my colleagues that you need to impose the fine, first of all, and resummon him. And Chair, if then he doesn't appear again, we will impose further fines until we get to the point where we are arresting him. I thank you.
Very well. I think at this rate we might have to sit off camera and discuss what we should do with the governor of Nairobi. Because it is so easy for him to pay, we now have to weigh other options. Is there a possibility that we can move a motion in the House? Motion of censure? What? We might have to do that in the fullness of time, because apparently the money is not his, so he doesn't mind paying from institution to institution. Yes,
Chair, we don't need to sit off camera or in camera. No, these are public issues which we need to be able to deliberate on those issues without any fear. Last Parliament, we censured the former Cabinet Secretary of Energy, and there are consequences. You know, there are intended and unintended consequences when you fail to respect the rule of law. So my point is this: there's nothing in camera. I think what we need to do is to clearly either push for his arrest and also move a motion to censure him. I'm sure there are so many people who will be very happy and will have a lot to say, because it is clear this governor prioritizes Sherehe instead of, government business. So, and I don't take it lightly for anyone who disrespects Parliament. We come here yesterday. Senator Sifuna and myself were in Narok. Senator Sifuna left Parliament, did parliamentary business, flew to Narok, flew back to Nairobi, and went back to Parliament. Of course, for me, because it was my county and everything, I delayed. But of course, with permission from my colleagues whom I shared, because it's a joint responsibility. We are here as ombudspersons of the citizens who have elected us. So my point is very clear. There's nothing in camera. I think what we do is very simple. We find the governor, even if he doesn't give a hoot in hell about the money, because of course he's going to use public money. Number two, and we issue summons and also cause for his arrest if he fails to appear. That's what the law says. In fact, legally, if you read Article 125 of the Constitution, it gives us that power. Even if that governor had traveled to Italy, we have the power to compel him to appear before this committee from that country. So really, I don't see why we are dilly-dallying here. We find someone, and I love your proposal of moving a censure motion. We've done that.
Abbas.
Honorable Chair, I think it's very unfortunate because Governor Sakaja is actually a member of the Senate, a two-term, and they understand the rules and regulations and the laws. And therefore, I will agree that he is fined and then respond. Failure to respond, then I think just have to be taken place. I support.
Senator Lomenan, if you can put yourself on the record, and then in case you have an addition to what we are discussing.
Thank you, Chair. I'm James Lomenan, Senator, Turkana County, member of this committee. I support censure.
Well, so the committee is decided that we are summoning this governor. When is the earliest? So the nearest date available is on 11th. We meet him on 11th in this chamber at 9 a.m. in the morning, and today he's going to pay a fine of 500,000. It is so decided. Next item. The next item is AOB.
This, Mr. Chairman, there was an issue, I don't know how far we've gone. In fact, there was a statement we're supposed to be deliberating on the cost of living, on the cost of electricity. And I think we had dealt with that, a similar issue before. Can we maybe get an update on those statements? And also it would be important for us to understand how many statements we have pending and what require these people to be summoned. Other statements from our colleagues in the House. Responses and giving it to our colleagues, because our colleagues feel like we are not doing the job. When you just get a response and you give it to the colleague, they don't have an opportunity to interrogate the responses. So we should have a tradition of making sure that we invite the person who the statement is sought from to appear. And then the senator who has also issued the statement should also come here so that they can clarify those issues. And then we deal with that issue. Then on top of that, it will be important for the Secretariat to give the chairperson an update, because at House Business, we now want to see all chairpersons, delivering an update of the work that they're doing for their committees.
This is noted. We will write to the CS and invite him for a meeting with all the statements that are pending for him to come and respond to all of them. And we shall then invite the senators who requested the statements to come if they're for any clarifications.
Very well. In fact, what Senator Olekina said is the practice we are using at the Committee of Finance and Budget. We normally ask the CS, National Treasury, with the member who raised the question, who raised the statement, so that upon his giving an answer, there are supplementary issues which can only be articulated best by the person who raised the statement. So maybe we should make it our standard procedure here as well.
That is noted, Chair.
You're welcome. There being no other business, I now adjourn the meeting until the date you'll be informed, possibly on 11th. Thank you. Sorry.